G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to make the Cassiopia cable stitch hat. It is called the Cassiopia cable stitch hat because it is made in memory and was designed in memory of my friend Cassiopia. Cassie to her friends. I was always worried about making cables and they were just this big scary pattern, but my friend Cassie taught me how to do it. So I thought it was fitting that this hat was named after Cassie because it's my very first tutorial using a cable stitch. This hat can be made very easily in a baby size up to a large adult. Basically can be used to make any size that you need, so it's very easy to adjust. This sample is made using 8-ply yarn, but it can also be used to make a hat using worsted weight yarn. This is the sample that I have used for the video, and this is using worsted weight yarn, and as you can see it looks gorgeous in a different thickness of yarn as well. So this is equivalent to about a 10-ply yarn, and the double knit hat, or the 8-ply yarn, which was the grey one you saw before, it also looks great in that as well. If you didn't know, I've signed up to Patreon. We're having exciting giveaways there that will be coming up, so if you would like more information about that, please check out the link in the description box. We also have a free written pattern for this hat, and that will be located on my website. Again, all the links that you need will be in the description box. Don't forget to share your creations on Instagram and tag me on Instagram. Also on Facebook and in our Ravelry group. So let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies we're going to need some yarn. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver. This is a worsted weight yarn and it's also equivalent to a 10-ply. We're going to need a tape measure, a yarn needle with a large eye which makes it a lot easier to sew in your ends, a pair of scissors and a crochet hook to go with your yarn. This is a 5mm crochet hook. I have loose tension and I like to use a 5mm when I'm using worsted weight or a 10-ply yarn. If you're going to choose a 8-ply or a double knit yarn, I would recommend a G size crochet hook or a 4mm. This crochet hook is the first time I'm going to be using it. It is a Furls crochet hook and it's from furls.com, so I will put the link that you need if you want to go and check them out. Now it feels amazing, so I'm very excited to use this for the very first time. And my friend Cassie, or her real name's Cassiopia, but we used to call her Cassie or Cass. Her favourite colour was purple, so I thought that this yarn colour was appropriate for the tutorial. Her favourite purple was probably a lot darker than this, but sorry Cass, but I've got to use a lighter colour for the video so people can see. So we're going to start with a slip knot, and you can make this any way you like, but what we need to do is leave about 4 inches of yarn because we want to sew the beginning of the hat closed, and this hat is worked from the brim up, so usually my hats are worked from the top down, but this one's worked the opposite way. So we will need a little bit of yarn to help sew together the first round. This hat is worked, got that on back to front, is worked in multiples of 4 plus 2. So what that means is you've got to do your chain, and in this case I'm going to be using a foundation double crochet, but you're very welcome to use just the normal chain if you don't like or you don't know how to do the foundation double crochet. And you're going to need 4 plus 2, so it's chains or foundation double crochets in groups of 4, and then when you've got enough you just add 2 to the end. So to work a foundation double crochet, I do have a more in detailed video on how to do this, but the basics are we chain, and I will put the link for that video for you in the description box. We chain 3, and then into the very first stitch we yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, and we work our chain first. So we do our chain, then we complete the double crochet. And like I said, there is a more detailed video about this stitch, and if you're not sure how to do this, that's really good help for that one. Into the chain that we made, which is down here, this is the bit where it gets confusing if you don't know what you're doing, and that video will take you through the steps and give you some tips on how to recognise where the chain is. Oops. Do our chain and then complete our double crochet. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up, work our chain, and then work our double crochet. Yarn over, go into the chain. Make sure you're going through both loops as well. Pull through, work your chain, and then work your double crochet. This hook feels amazing, by the way. Go into chain, pull up, make a chain, and then complete your double crochet. And this is what it's going to look like, and we are going to complete as many foundation double crochets as we need to get the measurement of the head that we are making it for. And don't forget to allow for stretch. So you will want to make it just a little bit smaller than the head measurement. If you're not sure on the head measurement that you need for the age group that you need it for, there is a link in the description box for head sizes. Will take you to my website, and there's some great information there about certain head sizes. So I'm going to complete the rest of the foundations that I need off camera, or you might be working your chain. And if you're doing just the chain, you will need to work 1 round of double crochet after you've done your chain. When we have done all our foundation double crochets, we're going to join it together. So I'm going to put this back on our crochet hook, and then we're just going to put it around. Make sure it's not twisted. So you want to make sure the good side's facing you. And we're going to join to the top of the first double crochet. What we're going to do now is we're going to chain 3, and the chain 3 does not count as a stitch, but it just gets us up to the right height that we need to be at. We're going to do a front post treble. We're going to skip 3 stitches, so we're going to wrap our yarn twice. We're going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and around the next one we're going to work around the back, out the other side, and then work our treble. Going to yarn over twice. Going to go around the next stitch. I'm going to work our stitch. Yarn over twice, go around the next one. So we're going from the front around the back and out the other side. And we're working our stitch. So now we have this gap over here with our 3 skip stitches. So 1, 2, 3. What we're going to do now is work a front post treble around the first skip stitch, so this one here. So wrapping twice. This is a bit tricky on the first one, so we're going to just hold all the loops on and go back to our stitch, work it the exact same way, so from the right to the left, and then work our stitch. So we've got 2 unworked stitches. So we're going to do the next one, which is here. And then the next one that's unworked, which is there. Then into the next stitch that has not been worked, so you can see there's a front post coming out of this one. And this is the next one. We're going to double crochet as normal into the next available stitch. We're going to double crochet all the way around. And our cable does look a bit weird at the moment, but it will start to look better as we work our way along. At the moment it kind of sits weird because it's got nothing to hold it in place, but believe me, it will look better as we go along. So double crochet just as normal all the way around, and I'll meet you when we're ready for the join. Once we come around, we are going to join to the first front post treble, not the chain 3. So our chain 3 is there, and that is our first front post treble. You can see it just there. We're going to join with a slip stitch. What we're going to do now is we're going to chain 3. Again, this does not count as a stitch. And we're going to do a front post double crochet around the next 6 stitches. Now you'll see here that some of the stitches are hidden because it's kind of a bit twisted. So you're just going to have to pull those out, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're doing a front post double crochet, so you just yarn over, find the first front post treble, which is here, and we're going to work a double crochet. Again, find the next one, and then that third one is really hidden, so you've just got to pull it out from the back there. And then the next 3 are reasonably easy to see, so front post around there. And then once we've done our front post double crochet, we're just going to work a regular double crochet in the remaining stitches. So don't forget this one here. And then double crochet. Oops. In the remaining stitches around, and I'll meet you when we're ready to join. So we're going to come around, and then we're going to join to the first stitch, so not the chain 3 but the first stitch, so joining into the top there. And this pattern has a 3 rounds repeat, so we've just done 2, and our next round for our repeat is chain 3, and we're going to work a front post double crochet around the next 6 stitches. So going around the first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. It doesn't look like much of a cable at the moment, but I trust me, when you get going with the pattern and get more done, it looks a lot better. So now we just double crochet in every stitch around. And I will meet you, so pause the video, and we'll meet when we are ready to join. We are ready to join, and we're going to join into the top of the first front post double crochet, and that was the third round of our repeat. So our first round is our cable where we cross over, and the next 2 rounds are just front post double crochets. So now we need to start the repeat again, and we are going to do our front post trebles. So we're going to chain 3, and we're going to skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Around the next stitch, we're going to work a front post treble. So we need to yarn over twice. So 1, 2, 3, and around that one. And again to the next one. And then the next one. So we've got 3 front post trebles in a row. Then the skipped ones that we did are here. So we've got our 3 stitches. We're going to go back to the first one, which is there. So going back to there. Working our front post treble. We're going to do our second one. I'm just going to zoom out a bit, I feel like I'm too close. There we go. So yarn over twice, go to our second stitch, work our front post treble, and then also the next one. So that's that one there. And we're going to double crochet into the next available stitch. Now you can see there's a post stitch coming out there, and this hole is our next available stitch. Going in there, and then work a double crochet all the way around. So pause the video and I will meet you when we are ready to join. When we come back around, we're going to join to the first treble, the front post treble, sorry. And we always do that for each round. We join to the first stitch and not the chain 3. And now we want to continue on with the repeat. So we just did our cable part, so the crossover bit, and the next 2 rounds are our front post double crochets, and then the next round after that is our crossover, then 2 rounds of front post double crochets, and so on. So you're going to repeat this, and depending on what size you're making, just put this in the right way. This would look really cute as a headband too if you wanted to do something like that. Depending on what size you're making, this is probably going to fit a child. It's definitely not an adult size. So a child's version, you're going to go between 12 and 13 centimeters from the beginning here for the height of your hat, and then we'll start decreasing. If you're doing an adult, I would recommend between 14 to 15 centimeters. And if so, for a baby, I would say probably 10 to 11 centimeters in height. And I was going to say I'll put that across the screen because I wasn't sure on the difference in inches, but I've got my tape measure here. So 10 to 11 centimeters is about 4 or 4¼ inches. What was the other one? 12 centimeters is about 5 inches, and then the other one for 14 centimeters we would go 5½ to 6 inches for our height of our hat. So you're going to measure from the start of your hat, which is there, and then measure up for the height like that. Okay, so I'm going to repeat mine until I have the height that I need for my hat, and I'll meet you when we're ready to do the decreasing. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows in total. I'm just going to measure the hat across. So this is about 20 centimeters. So this is going to fit. It does have some stretch as well. So once you stretch it, it's going to be about It's probably going to fit about a 2-year-old because it's about 46 centimetres. You could probably stretch it out to 50, and that's approximately a 2-year-old to a 5-year-old. We've got 5 inches high, which is 13 centimetres, and you want to get it between 12 and 13 centimetres high for a child size, about 14-15 centimetres for an adult, and about 10 to 12 centimetres for a baby. 10 to 11 centimetres for a baby. Not sure if I've already said that in the video because I was filming yesterday and it's now the next day. You'll notice on this side that your cable will start to pull it in, so you will just need to grab hold of it and just give it a little bit of a tug to sort it out. So now we are ready for the decreasing section of the hat. If you're making a baby size, you may not need all of these rounds. I'm just looking at my pattern. So there's some rounds where we're only just doing double crochets and no decreasing. So you might want to just skip one of those rounds if you find that it's closing up really quick. So our first decrease round, we're going to work our cable as we would as the pattern goes along. So I've done a round of front post double crochet, another round of front post double crochet, and then my cable. So whatever comes next in your sequence, that's what you're going to do in the cable section. And like I said, you may have a different amount of rounds, so you may be at a different stage in the cable, but that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter where you are in your cable, you're just going to continue on with the pattern. So I need to do just front post double crochets. And the cable doesn't get decreased at all in the hat pattern, it stays the same. So once we get up to just the plain double crochet here, what we're going to do is double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to work a double crochet decrease, so it's in the stitch, so yarn over like normal, in the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, keep those 2 loops on there, yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we pull through all 3. And that's the decrease repeat for this round. So double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then double crochet decrease over the next 2. And we're going to repeat this around. So repeat this around and I'll meet you, and you know how to join by now, so I'll just meet you when we're ready to do the chain 3 and the cable part. So I just worked the next section of my cable, which for me was another round of just front post double crochet. And this round, all we do is work a double crochet in every stitch around. There is no decreasing on this one. And just remember that you've got to keep your cable going in the pattern that the 3-row repeat that we do. 3-round repeat that we do. So it's the crossover bit and then 2 rounds of just front post double crochet. So yeah, like I said, this one has no decreasing at all, and it's just double crochet in every stitch around. I'll meet you when we're ready to do the next one. So I joined, I've done my chain 3 and completed the next stage of my cable, which for me was a crossover. And this one is a decrease round, and we're going to work 1 double crochet and then work 1 double crochet decrease. So decrease, 1 double crochet, and then 1 decrease. And this is the repeat for this decrease round. So double crochet and a decrease. Repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet you when we're ready for the next round. I worked my first part of my cable, which is just front post double crochet, and the next part decreasing in every stitch. So we have decreases one after each other. So we're going to repeat this around, and when we finish this one, we are going to finish off. If you find, like this hole is probably 2 inches across, if you find your holes quite a lot bigger than that, you could decrease in every stitch again, and then you could just finish off, and then we're going to gather the top. But I found if I do that, it's just, with the worsted weight yarn, it's just adding way too much height to the hat, and it's going to look a bit strange. But if you find that works for you, then go for it. So we're just going to thread our needle, and into the remaining stitches we're just going to go in and out, and we're just going to gather up these stitches. And we're just going to work our way all the way around. Now I'm not really sure where I started. Oh, there we go, I can tell there where I've slip stitched. Then what you're going to do is just pull on that. Make sure it's all gathered properly. And then we're just going to fasten off, so go through and then go through the loop. Go through to the other side. And you'll notice that it's a little bit gathered here, but trust me, that does flatten out once you put it on your head. And we're just going to fasten off on that side as well. And then we're just going to sew in our end somewhere around here. And then fasten off. And I just like to weave it back through a little bit and then snip. And then to close up, let's put it the right way. I'm going to close up the beginning here, so we're going to thread that. And that's why we wanted to leave this a bit longer, because the first one I made left it quite short and it was really hard to sew up. So we're just going to attach it to this stitch here. So go through there, I think will work. Basically just trying to close it up so that it doesn't look like a stitch. It look like a gap, sorry. That's pretty closed. I'm going to go to the inside of the hat and fasten it off. Just double check, make sure it looks okay. Yep. And then just sew in your ends. And we're done. And I'll love the look of this hat. And like I said, you may find the cable sort of scrunches it up, so just lay it flat, grab hold of that end, grab hold of the top, just give it a bit of a, just straightens out the cable a little bit too. I love this cable. I think it looks great in plain colours. The cable will stand out a lot better in plain colours. If you use a variegated yarn, it's not going to stand out as much because your eyes can't concentrate on the cable detail. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. I would love for you to make these and give these to charity. I know Cassie would have really appreciated that too. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share your creations on our Facebook page. And also you can tag me on Instagram. Where else? Well, you can share it on our Ravelry page as well. Share it just about anywhere these days. And yeah, just tag me and I'll check it out. If not, share it on our Facebook page. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crocheting.